Good morning, good morning, good morning, Reverend Dr. Mary Whitney here with our 268th day together. And as you know, I'm a writer. I have 5 books, and I wrote something for you today. It's a little longer than the other ones, but it's speaking on something that goes a little deeper. It's called Broken Heart. What becomes of a heart that has been broken and feels as though it has been locked inside a 32-year routine for so long that it has become stagnant? What happens when the person you have spent so much of your life loving is still physically present, but so much of the relationship you once knew is no longer accessible in the same way? Dementia is a different kind of beast than I've ever had to deal with or even watch, especially with those we love so deeply. And perhaps the hardest question of all is, I don't ask what happens to me now. I'm asking it now. What do you do after 32 years? It's really 33 past already, but it's still a long time. What happens to me now? How do you plan life with what's going on currently in your life? I don't ask that question because I want to abandon anyone. I asked it because I am beginning to understand that my life is still here. And maybe there is a difference between leaving someone behind and learning how to continue living while carrying love, grief, responsibility, and unanswered questions. So I lace it with a little epistemic humility. I have learned that I need to be careful about what I claim to know. I know that my heart hurts. I know that I have spent decades learning how to survive, love, serve, sacrifice, and keep going. I know that there are parts of me that feel tired. I know there are parts of me that are angry because of things you don't understand. I know there are parts of me that still long to experience a kind of love, companionship, tenderness, and mutuality that I may not experience in the way my heart once hoped. But I also have to admit, I do not yet know what the next chapter of my life looks like. And not knowing does not mean I'm lost. I don't feel lost at all. Sometimes not knowing means I am standing at the beginning of something I never had to navigate before. What are the stages of change in this process? I want us to sit up straight first, though. I want us to take 3 deep breaths together as we hug ourselves, because I've had to do a lot of that lately. Give yourself a hug. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Yes. The stages of change. One framework commonly used to understand change is the trans-theoretical model, which describes 5 stages. That pre-contemplation stage of change, I'm not ready. The possibility of change isn't being constructed yet. Contemplation. Maybe something needs to change. We began asking difficult questions at that point in our journey. Preparation. What would I do now? What do we need to do right now? We began considering possible next steps, and then the action piece. I am going to do something differently. We began making intentional changes in our journey. Maintenance. How do I continue living this new way? We learn how to sustain what we have changed. I believe there is something important about these stages. You do not have to be in the action stage simply because you have entered the contemplation stage. Sometimes the holiest thing you can do is sit with a question long enough to understand it. I pause. I get honest with myself. I ask for wisdom from the Lord, who is the only one that can give it, especially in certain situations, and then I go into prayer. For me, I don't push prayer on anyone, but for me, it works. And then I ask for discernment, a deeper, in-depth understanding of what I need at this moment. I don't rest in my pain or my loneliness. That would cause me to be impulsive in my decision making. Feelings get in the way of many things, and sometimes I put them aside. There is a difference between holding on to the pain and the loneliness. I don't have to make a permanent decision simply because I am experiencing a temporary storm. But neither do I have to deny that something inside me is asking to be acknowledged. Maybe healing my broken heart doesn't mean making my heart stop loving. Maybe healing means allowing my heart to tell the truth about what I have experienced. I have held this for such a long, long time. It's been 4 years now since my husband was entered memory care, full memory care. Maybe I can say I loved, I sacrificed, I stayed, I survived, I am grieving, I am angry, I am lonely, I still have questions, and I am still here. None of those statements require me to condemn myself. They require me to listen. How do I break the self-defying chains that I've placed on myself because of my belief system and because of my commitment still to my marriage? Maybe the first chain to break is the belief that I must know everything before I am allowed to take one step. Perhaps the next step isn't another relationship. Perhaps it isn't leaving. Perhaps it isn't staying as I have been in my own thinking. Perhaps the next step simply is I will allow myself to become acquainted with who I am now. You'd think after 4 years I'd be fully acquainted with who I am now, but it's not that easy to rest in that mindset. Who am I after 32 years, 33 years really? What do I enjoy? What makes me laugh? What dreams have gone quiet? What friendships need rebuilding? What parts of my identity have been placed on hold? What does healthy companionship mean to me? What does faithful living mean to me now? And what does God actually require of me now? what fear tells me God requires. I'm questioning myself, and I ask you to question yourself if you've dealt with this kind of situation or are currently in this kind of situation. It would be great to talk to other people who are dealing with same or similar things. And if any of you have older parents, you know what I'm talking about as well. You're dealing with those things. I want you to know I'm here for you. Questions moving forward. What am I grieving that I have never given myself permission to grieve? What part of me has been waiting to be discovered? Am I confusing responsibility with having to sacrifice every remaining possibility of my own life? What would it look like to explore my future without making any immediate romantic decisions? I have none right now. Who is a wise, trustworthy person with whom I can speak honestly and safely? What does my faith teach me about compassion for myself? What would it mean to let God guide the next step rather than demanding that God reveal the entire path? And finally, the next chapter, formulating it with honesty, feeling safe, using the wisdom that the Lord has given me, plus taking time to just be still and stay in prayer is a wiser next step, I believe, for any one of us going through this new journey. I don't have to know the whole road, you don't. I don't need enough light for the next step. And maybe that is what faith really is not having every answer, but continuing to walk while trusting God can meet me in what I don't yet fully understand. So today, I am asking God to take away. I'm not asking Him to take away my heart. I am asking God to teach me what to do with the heart I still have. I don't want to become hardened. God says, harden not your heart. Let not your heart be troubled. I don't want to become bitter either. I don't want to become selfish. I want to stay honest. I want to be wise. I want to become whole. And if there is still something beautiful for my life to experience, I want to be humble enough to recognize when it does come. How do we mend a broken heart? Maybe we don't mend it pretending it was never broken. Maybe we mend it by giving ourselves permission to heal where the breaking occurred. I want to thank everyone who have subscribed, who have liked, who have shared our YouTube channel with others. And I know many of you have yet to subscribe, but you may be subscribing to so many other things you don't know who to subscribe to. I get that, and I'm grateful with all who have subscribed, who have been with us this whole time, and who are walking this 268-day journey together. And if you are carrying a broken heart today, I want you to know you don't have to solve your whole life tonight. Take that next honest step. The Lord willing, join us for day 269 tomorrow. And until then, we're going to take 3 more deep breaths together, hugging ourselves gently at the same time. A deep breath in. A deep breath out. A deep breath in. A deep breath out. A deep breath in. A deep breath out. I am still here. There is still more of my story to live. Take care. Be safe. We love you. Have a great day. We will see you tomorrow, as I said, the Lord willing.